When my wife thought she was untouchable. 15 years together and she figured I was too dumb to notice. Coffee every morning at 6. Same quick kiss, same bullshit about dinner plans. I trusted her completely. Stupid me, right? The changes started small. Phone face down during dinner. Years prior, her phone was always face up. Working late became the new normal. 3 nights a week instead of maybe once a month. She sold real estate, so overtime made sense. At least that's what I told myself. Then came the yoga obsession. Designer workout clothes that were really expensive, and she didn't even ask for my opinion on how they looked on her. Classes that apparently happened at weird hours, sometimes early morning, sometimes late evening. Never the same schedule twice. My college sweetheart had become someone I barely recognized. We used to talk about everything. Now she gave me updates like a weather report. Short, factual, boring. Friends still called us the perfect couple. If they only knew how quiet our house had become. Dinner conversations were me asking questions and her giving one-word answers. She was tired, work was stressful, the market was tough. Always something. I decided to surprise her at the office one afternoon. Thought maybe we could grab lunch like we used to. Her assistant looked confused when I asked for her. Said she left around noon for a personal appointment. Funny thing was, she told me that morning about working late on a big sale. That's when the pieces started clicking. Not all at once, but slow enough that I questioned my own sanity. New clothes showing up that I never saw her wear around me. Well, she's wearing them around somebody. She started taking longer showers when she got home from work. She changed her laptop password after using our anniversary date for 8 years. If that's not a red flag, I don't know what is. Her phone calls ended the second she saw me. That's another red flag. The woman who used to share every detail about difficult clients suddenly had nothing to say about work. Overnight trips for conferences in cities 2 hours away. Since when did local real estate require that much travel? She joined the gym when we had a perfectly good one 5 minutes from the house. She stopped wearing her ring to bed because it was uncomfortable. Now that's BS to me. I can see if you're operating dangerous machinery at work, then take off your ring, but at home in bed, unless it's some damn huge rock. But yeah, that's ridiculous. Weekend plans always involved helping other people. Her sister needed furniture moved. Her mom needed computer help. College friends were visiting. Every excuse sounded reasonable when she said it, but add them up and you get a pattern. A pattern that meant someone else was getting the attention I used to get. Our bedroom became a place where two strangers slept next to each other. She was always too tired for anything beyond a quick good night. Men, I'm going to keep telling you. If your woman has health issues, understandable you're not getting any nookie. But if she's not sleeping with you, something's up. The alarm should be going off if you are not having sex with your wife or girlfriend on a consistent basis. If it just completely stops, you're in trouble. I started wondering if our entire marriage had been fake. Were the good years real, or was she always this good at lying? The thought kept me up at night, staring at the ceiling while she slept like she didn't have a care in the world. She had no clue that I was starting to pay attention, real attention, the kind that notices details she thought were too small to matter. While she was busy playing house with someone else, I was learning things about my wife that I never wanted to know. The affair was going to come out. These cheating stories always do. Yeah, most of the time they do. And when it happened, she was going to find out that being untouchable was just something she told herself. The infidelity was about to catch up with her. I just had to figure out how to prove what I already knew in my gut. She thought she was smarter than me. Paying attention became my full-time job. The lie about working late was just the beginning. I started keeping mental notes of everything. What time did she leave? What time did she say she would be home? What she was wearing when she left versus when she came back. The little things that cheaters think nobody notices. Her yoga schedule made no sense. Different days every week, different times, completely random. I looked up the studio online. The actual schedule was nothing like what she told me. The classes she claimed to attend did not even exist. She was lying about everything. I decided to find out. Following your own wife feels like the most pathetic thing a man can do. But here I was, sitting in my car outside a shopping center, waiting to see where she really went after leaving for yoga. She pulled into a shopping center parking lot. 10 minutes later, another car showed up. The guy got out and climbed right into her passenger seat. I moved closer. What I saw made me mad as hell. Intimate conversation, her signature hair playing move, the same laugh she used to give me. After an hour, he got out. But first, he leaned back in for a long kiss. The kind of kiss that leaves no doubt what kind of relationship this was. Not their yoga instructors, 15 years of marriage, and she was kissing another man. The affair was real. My wife was a cheater. Game over. I drove home in a fog. She got there 15 minutes after me. Walked in talking about how great her yoga session was, how relaxed she felt, how the instructor really pushed the class today. Every word was a lie delivered with perfect sincerity. I didn't even acknowledge her. I just asked about dinner. Now I know some people would have got out of their vehicle and went right over there and confronted them. People, speaking from experience, don't let your emotions dictate how you move. As I said before, letting your emotions control the situation will get you in trouble. Just saying. Acting like I had not just watched her with another man. She heated up leftovers and we ate in silence. Her phone buzzed twice during dinner. Both times she ignored it. Both times I wondered if it was him. After dinner, she took one of those long showers again. I sat on the couch trying to figure out my next move. Confronting her would just make her more careful. Better to gather more information first. Figure out who this guy was. Whether she was planning to leave me for him. The questions kept multiplying. While she was in the shower, her phone sat on the kitchen counter. Password protected, obviously, but I could see the notification previews lighting up on the screen. Text messages from someone listed as coworker. Uh-oh. Funny thing about that, she had mentioned this coworker maybe twice in 5 years. Now this person was texting at 9 at night. I started paying closer attention to when these coworker messages came through. Always during times when she seemed happiest. Always right before she took those long showers. The timing was too convenient to be a coincidence. My wife was having an affair with her AP. This coworker was definitely not a coworker. The cheating stories you read online always make it seem obvious, like the cheated on spouse should have known all along. Yeah, well, some people are good at hiding their infidelity. That's why some people leave in the comment section, well, he should have known. They've been together 15 years. Shit, that doesn't mean anything. If someone is good at covering their tracks, it might be a long time before they uncover the affair. Like the cheated on spouse should have known all along. But when you're living it, every revelation hits you like a punch to the gut. She came out of the shower acting like nothing had happened. Kissed me goodnight like she had not been kissing someone else 4 hours earlier. I lay awake until 3 in the morning, planning my next move. Because now that I knew about her AP, I needed to know everything. How they met, how long had this been going on, what their plans were, and most importantly, how to catch them in a way that would give me every advantage when this whole thing exploded. The infidelity was about to get a lot more complicated for both of them. They thought they were being careful. They had no idea I was just getting started. The investigation started that night. While she was taking her usual long shower, I decided to search her car. She always left it unlocked in our driveway, too trusting for her own good. I searched every inch of that vehicle. Nothing in the glove compartment except registration and insurance papers. Nothing under the seats. But then I checked the door pockets. Buried behind a stack of real estate flyers was a receipt. Gas station purchase from 2 weeks ago. The timestamp showed 11:30 in the morning. She had told me she was showing houses all day that week. But this gas station was 40 minutes in the opposite direction from any of her listings. What was she doing there? The next morning, she left for work at her usual time, 8:15 sharp. I called my boss around 9, told him I was feeling sick and needed the day off. He could hear something in my voice, asked if everything was okay at home. I found myself telling him more than I planned about the suspicions, about what I saw yesterday, about needing to figure out what was really going on. My boss went quiet for a minute. Then he said something that I will never forget. His ex-wife had pulled the same shit years ago. So-called classes that did not exist. Working late turned into something else. He ignored the signs until it was too late. Lost half of everything in the divorce. His advice was simple. Get proof before she knows you know. Document everything. And I mean everything. His boss is giving him some damn good advice. Because once cheaters realize they are caught, they get desperate. And desperate people do stupid things. Take the day, he said. Take the week if you need it. But get your answers. I thanked him and got to work on a real investigation. I mapped the location on my phone. The gas station sat right next to a residential neighborhood. Quiet streets, nice houses. The kind of area where nobody pays attention to cars coming and going. Perfect place for secret meetings, I thought. But I needed to know exactly where they were meeting. The receipt was just a clue, not the whole answer. I would have to wait for her next yoga session. 2 days later, my chance came. She announced another yoga class for that afternoon, 2:15 to 4:30, like always. This time, I was ready. I left early to get a head start and positioned myself near the gas station. Sure enough, at 2:10, her car pulled into the gas station. She did not get gas. Just sat there for 5 minutes, then drove into the residential neighborhood behind it. I followed at a distance and made sure she couldn't see me. She turned onto a quiet street and parked in front of a house. The same car I saw the other day sat in the driveway. Same make and model as the car from the parking lot yesterday. There is the same small dent in the rear bumper that I remembered. This was where her AP lived. I parked at the end of the street and waited. Around noon, the front door opened. A man walked out to check his mailbox, mid-40s, tall, wedding ring clearly visible, the same guy from yesterday. I took photos of the house, the address, and the car, evidence for later. Now I had everything I needed to know, where they met, when they met, proof that this was not some random encounter. This was systematic infidelity, but knowing about the affair was only half the battle. Now I need to prepare for war. My boss had been right about getting proof before she knew I knew, so I started building my case. The first stop was a lawyer. I called 3 different divorce attorneys that afternoon. All of them said the same thing. Document everything. Get copies of financial records. Start moving money to accounts she could not access. And whatever I did, do not let her know I was on to her. Because once cheaters realize they are caught, they start hiding assets. The next few days became a careful balancing act, acting normal at home while secretly preparing for divorce. I opened a new bank account at a different bank. I started moving small amounts of money every few days. Nothing big enough to show up on our joint statements. Made copies of every financial document that made sense. Everything the lawyer said I would need. I found a private investigator who specializes in infidelity surveillance. Hired him for 1 week. $2,000 to get professional evidence on top of what I already had. I know some people would say, oh, he didn't need a private investigator. What he had probably wasn't good enough. So I'm assuming the private investigator was the icing on the cake. Photos that would hold up in court. Documentation that no judge could ignore. My wife kept going to her fake yoga sessions, kept lying about where she had been, kept acting like the perfect wife, while I was systematically documenting her affair and protecting myself financially. She thought she was untouchable, but she was about to learn that cheaters always get caught. Her infidelity was going to cost her everything. She just did not know it yet. The private investigator delivered his report on a Friday morning. 1 week of surveillance had produced a gold mine of evidence. Photos of her entering his house multiple times. Timestamps show she stayed for hours. Pictures of them kissing goodbye on his front porch. Video footage of her leaving his house looking like a complete mess, like she didn't give a fuck who saw her. Professional documentation that would destroy her in court. $2,000 well spent. The PI also discovered something I had not known. Her AP was married with 2 teenage kids. His wife worked as a teacher at the local high school. She had no idea her husband was cheating either. The affair was destroying 2 families. But that was about to change. I scheduled a meeting with my divorce attorney for that afternoon. brought every piece of evidence I had collected. My lawyer smiled when he saw the documentation. This was the kind of evidence that ended divorces quickly. He drafted the divorce papers that same day. But I was not done yet. The confrontation needed to be perfect. I decided to serve her the divorce papers at her office, in front of her coworkers, in front of her boss. Let everyone see what kind of person she really was. I waited until the following Wednesday. She had another yoga session scheduled for that afternoon, but this time I was not going to let her make it. At 2 o'clock, I walked into her real estate office, asked the receptionist if I could see my wife, said I had important papers to deliver. The receptionist called her over. My wife came out of her office looking confused. Why was I there? What was so urgent? I handed her the envelope in front of everyone. Divorce papers with a detailed list of her affair activities, dates, times, locations, everything. Her eyes got big as she read the first page. Her mouth opened, but no words came out. The entire office went silent. Everyone glancing at my wife discovered her secret was out. She tried to pull me aside, whispered that we should talk about this at home, but I was done protecting her reputation. I told her loud enough for everyone to hear that I knew everything. The fake yoga classes, the hours at his house, the private investigator documentation showed everything. Her coworkers stared in shock. The woman they thought they knew was a complete fraud. She tried to explain, again asking if we can discuss this at home, then tried to say that she never meant for it to go this far. But everyone in that office now knew the truth. The confident real estate agent who seemed to have it all together was just another cheater. Her broker called her into his office immediately. She walked back out 10 minutes later looking destroyed. That evening, she came home to find her bags already packed. She was a little angry when she came home, but I didn't give a shit. I was in a pissed off state of mind. Told her my lawyer would be in touch. The woman who thought she was untouchable had just lost everything. Her marriage, her reputation, half of our assets, all because she underestimated the man she betrayed. And when they do, the spouses who prepare for war always win. Turns out, nobody is truly untouchable, especially when they think they are smarter than everyone else. At the divorce hearing, she literally got her ass handed to her. She didn't get any alimony. Turns out, she did use some of my hard-earned money for her affair. She only got 30% of our joint savings. There was no equity in the house, so she wasn't getting anything from that. She had to pay back an additional $1,900 because it was determined that she used that amount for her affair. This one was stupid, and she got exactly what was coming to her. In addition to that, she was only allowed to get a few furnishings, her clothes, and her car. I don't know what happened to her AP, but I sent all the information the private investor gave me to his wife. Oh, I reside in Virginia. After the divorce hearing, I haven't heard from my ex-wife at all. Well, like I said earlier, him hiring the private investigator was a good move because the private investigator could get closer and do a lot more and spend a lot more time gathering evidence. And another thing I want to touch on is, why does everybody call every fucking man a simp when he doesn't move fast enough? What would you have done? If you're married to someone for 15 years, you have kids, you have all this stuff intertwined after so many years together. So you mean tell me you're going to drop everything really, really fast and divorce her? It doesn't work that way. In real life, outside of YouTube, it doesn't work that way. So the men that share these stories and they take their time gathering evidence, those are the ones who come out on top. Why I say that? Because one, they still have their freedom. They don't resort to violence because they allow their emotions to control their movement. So stop calling every fucking man a simp because he doesn't move fast enough. Until next time.